is second release of this year. In short, I'm going to take you quickly through the agenda. First, we're going to quickly discuss the way we release new EASE updates in combination with the ARIS software AG releases. Then we're going to quickly I'm going to quickly explain the new features that we've implemented into EASE ARIS, as well as some small minor adjustments and enhancements we made. And then at the end, we're going to talk you quickly through the customer influence program. So first, we're going to talk you through a bit of the EASE release schedule. This should have was already mentioned in a previous webinar, but I'm quickly going to explain it again. Software AG has two types of releases. There's a major functional release in which they release their big functions, new updates, new features. And then there's a second part, which is the minor bug fixing release. So in this case, that will be Azure 18 for the major functional and Azure 19 for the minor bug fixes. And as we need time to integrate these features and bug fixes into EASE, we will always be one version behind. So even though Azure 20 is out like for a couple of weeks by now, you will all be receiving Azure 19, which will be the minor bug fix release plus the major functional release before that. And then, as all of you know, week 45 will be the update week in which you all will be updated to Azure 19 with EASE version 7. This also will be done in the evening, so there will be no downtime for any of you. And the recording and release notes of this session will be on the McCoy site afterwards. Now, the new features of EASE version 7, there was 5 of them. The first is that objects will now be visible, or at least key objects will now be visible in the navigation tree. The second is that the fact sheets are now available for all objects, as well as more details in the already existing fact sheet for objects. And then 2 customer feature requests. First is a more similar type of sorting everywhere. In this case, that would turn out to be alphabetical for how do you call it? Easy recognition everywhere and easy navigation. And the third of the 4 points is the navigation from all events, which was before in only intermediate events, but that is now possible for all types of events. And then the 5th point we're going to briefly mention, but is not included in EASE version 7, is the MS Teams integration, which we can help arrange via software AG. So let's quickly go into the feature details. The first one, as already mentioned, is the objects are now visible in navigation tree. Of course, these are not all objects, but only the core objects from the EASE point of view. The core objects, in our opinion, are the business object, KPI, activity, role, department, risk, and control. As can be seen on the example on the right side, there are 2 different types of symbols now. The first is for the model as it always was. And the second, the one which is highlighted in approved expense claim and other expense claims types are objects. So it allows you to easily navigate to a specific object and see the appropriate fact sheet. I'm going to quickly do a short demonstration of this. As can be seen here, you have the business process for expense claim management. And then if you hover on the left side, you can see approve expense claim, and you immediately enter the appropriate.
We don't see your screen, Bernd.
That's
You're still looking at the PowerPoint. Yep, better.
That is probably explains why. So I'm quickly going to roll back a bit. You can go through the process like normally, and when you reach, in this case, the process level, you can now see activities in the left side view, and these are the activity fact sheets or the activities fact sheets. So, for example, when we go to create expense claim, you can now see all the expense claim fact sheet information instead of having to go to the diagram and click on the appropriate activity. You can now do it easily from the navigation file feature. This also works for other ones. An example of this would be, for example, a risk. As you can see, we follow the navigation down, and you can also see that once again, it's highlighted in which in this case risk UR, with once again one of the new updated fact sheets. And I'm going to quickly go back to the PowerPoint. So in this case, I showed off risk and activity, but for all the other ones mentioned here, this also works and is visible in the navigation tree. Then fact sheet for all objects. I already showed you one of the updated ones, but in general, every single object now has a fact sheet with appropriate or most important information that is visible in the specific fact sheets. An example of this was the, as previously shown, risk fact sheet. So now, instead of just having a description as it had before, you can now have an internal risk ID added to it. You can see which control mitigates this risk, the activities in which it occurs, and then also if it should be assessed, and then the time interval and when it was last assessed. This was done for all fact sheets for all objects where appropriate. Okay, and then we're going on to the alphabetical sorting. Before, we had several different types of sorting, which influence, for example, the navigation on the left side, but also in overview pages, the way items were sorted. This created some confusion or difficulty in finding which object or which model was where, because normally you can navigate via the visual interface. So via, let me quickly go to this. To this one, you can navigate either through clicking on one of the the visuals, or you can navigate via the bulb on the left side. But before, it was semi-random or top-down organization. So even in this side, you'd still need to know where the items were on the main view in order to quickly find them. So we changed it to alphabetical in order to give it easy accessibility, so you can still navigate normally here. Or if you don't know where it is, you can use the left navigation to get there. An example of this would be then, once again, the business process. You can see that the 4 different activities, which are now visible in the tree, are also alphabetically sorted. Another one is, for example, end-to-end business processes. There can be many different end-to-end processes, as all of you know, but they're also sorted here alphabetically instead of another way, not the regular way we normally order them. Because if you need to find, for example, focus the plan, and now it's easy because there's only 3. But if you don't know where it's exactly located, you can go easily here and see which one is located where. And then we're going on to the navigation possible for all events. Before, you could always navigate via the mini fact sheet here to another process where the same event was located. We added that to end and start events, as can be seen here. So you can now easily navigate from one process to another process via the mini fact sheet if that same object was reused in another process. And then lastly, the MS Teams integration. This MS Teams integration will not be supported by McCoy. The reason for that is simple. This needs to be a specific custom-made edition on your Teams. For example, they say that you can pick 4 different types of views you want to show: an overview, a diagram, a steps, or a matrix. But the view you show has to be manually picked and put into the backend client or the backend. So it's a lot of customization, and that doesn't fit the ease ARIS model. But we can help you get started with this by putting in a support ticket at Software AG, and in that way help you get this up and running if you're interested in that. And then we're going on to some small minor enhancements. The first one, that the mini fact sheet for activity and processes now contains a link to application components and landscapes. This enables a more easy connection between the business and IT pillars. Next to that, there are some improvements to the process handbook. An example of this would be that there's now a KPI table visible for all different layers. And beyond that, the fact sheets now show more relevant information. This specifically refers to some model fact sheets that now show more relevant information to that specific model. And the last minor enhancement is the group path that is now visible in the Connect Designer and satellite modeling. And then lastly, we also quickly want to mention again the EASE Customer Influence Program. As you all know, if you have ideas on to improve EASE, or you want to see some small adjustments or changes to the thing to EASE, you can communicate it to either us or one of the consultant working for you. And that can, of course, also be done by creating a ticket at support.mccoy-partners.com or by contacting us via mail at servicedesk@mccoyandpartners.com. And that will bring us to the end of the webinar for now. So are there any questions?
Very quickly over the topics. I can imagine there are some questions. If not, we will publish this webinar on our YouTube channel somewhere early next week. It will be combined with a blog also describing the new functionalities. Will also be available on our website early next week. And you all have received your specific date for your upgrade somewhere in the course of next week. If you have any questions on that, let us know. We're happy to help, happy to assist. Also with the team integrations. If you have the requirements to have teams integrated into Software AG or into ARIS, let us know and we will help you out on that as well.
Indeed.
If there are no additional questions, let's close this call and enjoy your day.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Thank you.